Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first of all, I welcome all of you in this lecture. So, good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so let me present my screen to you. Yes, please let me know. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So as you all know that we have already completed our first unit in my previous lecture. So from today onwards, we are going to begin with our second unit, and the name of our second unit is nothing but sequences. Okay. And let me tell you, I will tell you the details about our practical at the end of my lecture. Okay, because I don't want to waste my time in that. So please bear with me so that I will explain the details in my last lecture, at the end of this lecture. Okay, so our second unit is nothing but sequences. Now, in this unit, we are going to study these topics. The first one is introduction, then sequences in R, what is called as bounded and unbounded sequences, monotone sequences, convergent and divergent sequences, then what is called as sandwich theorem. So you can see here we are relating mathematics with a thing which are written by us. Okay. Then next one is monotone convergence theorem, then convergence of some standard sequences, E as a limit of sequence, then what is called as Cauchy sequence and what are called as subsequences. Now this unit is totally new for you. Okay, so what I am planning is we are going to study this unit in a great detail so that you can understand each and every concept very neatly and cleanly. See, wherever you are having any kind of doubt, then you just unmute yourself and you can ask your doubt. Okay, now I will be very slow in this unit. Okay, I don't know how much lectures I require to cover up this unit, but see, if we are going slow in this unit, then according to the university, we need to finish your syllabus by the end of December. So we need to move faster in our third unit, which is nothing but the differential equation, which you have already studied or you will have some idea about it. Okay, so we are going to fast in the third unit, but this is the new unit, so I am going to little bit slow in this unit. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
And please make sure that you will understand the concept of these sequences because this is the very important chapter in calculus. Okay, so let us begin with this chapter, which is nothing, or you can say second unit, which is nothing but the sequences. Now, first of all, we need to answer this question, that is, what are the sequences? Or what do we mean by sequence? Can anybody want to elaborate on it? Yes. Do you have any idea about this chapter, or you can say this unit, sequences? Can you give me a daily life example for this sequence? Yes, anybody? Or anything which you know about this word sequence? Arrangement in a order. Okay. So let me give you an example for it. आप सब टिकट काउंटर पे तो गए होगे, एटलीस्ट ट्रेन के टिकट काउंटर पे, राइट?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, क्या होता है वहां पे? बहुत सारे पीपल एक क्यू में खड़े होते हैं फॉर कलेक्टिंग द टिकट्स और टेकिंग द टिकट्स. ओके, सो वो सारे एक सीक्वेंस में अरेंज होते हैं, दैट इज वन आफ्टर अनदर. सो दिस इज द जनरल वे ऑफ सीक्वेंसेस. तो ये सीक्वेंसेस कहाँ से अराइज हुआ? ये अराइज हुआ बाय लुकिंग टुवर्ड्स द डेली सिचुएशन इन लाइफ. ओके, but if I show you the definition of this, then you might be surprised that this is the definition of sequences. Okay, because mathematics always surprises. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let me show you, or let me give you the definition of sequence in R. Okay, see, this is the very deep topic. Okay, but here we are only dealing with sequences in real numbers. Later you will study the sequences in complex numbers, what are sequences in functions, and many more things which will make the complications. Okay, but I don't want to do that. So let me first give you the definition of this sequence which is in R. Now, before going to give the definition of sequences, first of all, I want to know, have you heard about the functions? Have you heard about functions?
Yes,
Okay, I think this you are having in your junior college, right?
Yes, sir.
So how many functions you will know, or you have know?
sir, 12 to 13 functions, we know.
Okay, so tell me some functions.
Square root function, rational function, Singham function,
Then
then trigonometric function, logarithmic function, exponential function.
okay, so you are having a lots of functions in your list. Okay, now my question is, give me the definition of function, or tell me the definition of function.
Sir, it tells us
Yes, Shweta?
that function tells us what is मतलब क्या करना है वो function.
Okay, can anybody knows the mathematical definition of function? Or first of all, tell me some general definition of function. What you are having in the definition of function? No one knows? Yes, Roshan? You are
Sir,
having you are
sir,
having you are having a lots of list in your mind of the functions. So tell me what is function?
wait, I'm telling. Sir, a function is a relation only which has only one exactly element.
Ye- Yes.
Sir, one domain and one range.
Okay.
One
What
element
do?
in domain has exactly one output. Na?
Okay. So let me give you an easiest definition of function, which is not in the mathematical form, but you can relate that. Okay. सी अब आपको पता चलेगा आपने जूनियर कॉलेज में स्टडी क्या की है. ओके, लेट मी टेल यू, जूनियर कॉलेज स्टडी एंड दिस मैथमेटिक्स स्टडी इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट. ओके, और आपको पता चलेगा आपने कितना सीखा आपके जूनियर कॉलेज में. सो बेसिकली अ फंक्शन इज अ व्हाट? फंक्शन इज अ मशीन. ओके, फंक्शन इज अ मशीन where you are having an input, or you are putting some inputs, and you are getting some output. So this is the logical definition of function. Okay, so basically a function is a machine where you are putting something and you are getting something. Okay, but as mathematicians are always need to describe definition in a concrete form, so we want the specific definition to illustrate the functions. Okay, so basically what is a function? Have you heard about domain, codomain and range?
Yes.
So what is a domain? What is a codomain? What is a range?
Sir, domain is basically something input value,
Okay, means you
and
want
range
to
is the.
say we are going to picking an element from the domain for getting the output, right? Okay, so let me give you, say suppose I am defining f is a map from A to B. Okay, f is a map from A to B. Now can you tell me which is my domain and which is my codomain?
Sir, A is
Sir, A
domain.
is domain and B is coding.
A is domain and B is codomain. Okay, fine. मीन्स व्हाट, इस मैप को मैं फंक्शन कब बोलूंगा? जब ये कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज फॉलो करेगा. ओके, now before going to give you the definition of function, we are interested in what is called as domain, what is called as codomain, and what is the range. So you told me that this A is our domain and this B is the codomain for this map F. Okay, now what is the range?
A to B, sir.
Yes, what is the range?
Sir, write their question, then we can tell the answer.
See, now I don't want to waste my time in this because you are going to study this whole topic in detail in the course of algebra. Okay? Right now, see, I want the definition of sequence which is in terms of functions. That's why I'm recalling what is the definition of function. But let me tell you, you are going to study this topic in detail in the course of algebra. Okay, so what is a range? Range is basically the subset of codomain. Okay, रेंज इज द सबसेट ऑफ कोडोमेन. सी, जो भी एलिमेंट आप ए में से पिक करोगे वो बी के एलिमेंट पे जाके मैप होगा बाय दिस मैप एफ. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज वी आर हैविंग से 3 एलिमेंट्स इन डोमेन, से 1 2 3. ओके, एंड वी आर हैविंग से 4 एलिमेंट्स इन कोडोमेन, से ए बी सी डी. Okay, now suppose this f is mapping 1 to A. Okay, this 2 is mapping, f is mapping 2 to B, and f is mapping 3 to say C. Okay, now you can see the images of these elements which are there in the domain are nothing but A, B and C which are there in codomain. Okay, so what you are going to do, ये जो भी elements A के जहाँ पे जाके map होंगे from the elements of B, so you are going to collect these elements in a set. and you are going to say these are nothing but the range of your function. Okay, so you can see that this range is always a subset of codomain. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically a function is what? See, as I already told you, you are giving some input and you are getting some output using a machine, and we are going to call that machine as a function. Now let me give you the mathematical definition of function. Suppose f is a map from A to B, then when I am going to call this map as a function. So this map is a function if for every element in domain. Okay, now this symbol I am going to use for every. Okay, for every, or you can say for all. So for every element A in domain, there exists a unique element. There exists a unique element. There exists a unique element in codomain. Such that f of A is equals to B. Now, first of all, tell me, have you understood this definition?
Yes, sir.
ओके मीन्स ये जो भी हम डोमेन पिक करेंगे इसके हर एक एलिमेंट के लिए मुझे बी में एक यूनिक एलिमेंट मिलेगा. ओके, देन वी आर गोइंग टू कॉल सच मैपिंग्स एज द फंक्शन. So please remember, this is the mathematical definition of function, and let me tell you, this definition plays a very important role in mathematics. If you want, you can take the screenshot of this, or you will find this definition in books also. Okay, now I am not going in the details because you are going to study this topic in your algebra. Okay, so now we are in the position to define the sequences. So what are the sequences? So sequences are nothing but a sequences of real number is basically a function from set of natural number to set of real numbers. Now tell me which one is my domain and which one is my codomain for these sequences.
N is domain and R is code.
So always remember, okay, always remember for sequences our domain is always set of natural number. Okay, and we are talking about sequences in R, so our codomain has to be the real number. Then only we are getting our sequences in real numbers. Is the definition clear? What do we mean by sequences?
Yes, sir.
So always remember, for sequences our domain is always set of natural number, and there is no restriction on codomain. But as we are talking about sequences in R, that's why we are having codomain to be R. Okay, now see, by observing or by looking towards this definition only, we can't talk much about sequences. For that, we need to do the post-mortem of this topic. Okay, that is the sequences. So let us try to do that. Okay, now how we are going to do the post-mortem? Okay, we are going to do that by using some standard theorems along with many examples in it. Okay, so first remark is, suppose f of n is equals to an. Okay, now remember there are some notations we are using in this sequences. Okay, see, remember, now onwards we are going to denote sequences by this symbol an. Okay, a suffix n. You might use x also, suffix n. Okay, and for denoting sequences we are going to put this symbol in open bracket. Okay, we are going to put these symbols in open bracket, which means what? These are nothing but the sequences. See, sometimes the sequences may be denoted by using this curly brace also. Okay, so this is also the notation for sequence. But mainly we are using this notation throughout the course. Whenever I am writing an or you can say xn in open bracket, which means it is a sequence. Okay, so suppose f of n is equals to an. Now remember, here we are taking n. See, our input is from natural number because our domain is set of natural numbers. So our input must belongs to the natural number. That's why here we are taking n. And output is an, a suffix n. So this is our output using this function f. So basically a function is a machine where we are inputting something and we are getting something as a output. So here input is the set of natural number and output is nothing but the set of real numbers and elements from the set of real numbers. And generally we are denoting sequences by this letter or by this symbol, that is open bracket an. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And please reply, okay, so that I can understand whether you are understanding me or not. Okay, because it's necessary, the conversation between you and me, then only I can understand you are understanding me. Otherwise, okay, forget about that. So second one is the elements a1 a2 up to an are called as terms of the sequences. Okay, now you can see there is no end. Okay, here I am writing dot dot dot. So these are nothing but the terms of the sequences. In particular, an is called the nth term of the sequence an. Okay, so this letter a suffix n is nothing but the nth term of our sequence an. Third remark is we can define a sequence by listing the different terms of the sequences or by specifying a formula to find the nth term of a sequence. See, as like in the case of arithmetic mean and the geometric mean. Okay. See, arithmetic mean and geometric mean is also one kind of sequence where you are having some specific formula for finding nth term of that particular sequence or series. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
So can anyone tell me how I am going to calculate nth term in an arithmetic progression? Which formula I am going to use?
Sir, n into a minus d.
N into a minus d. Is it like that?
Science. Wait, sir, I'm recalling that.
See, the notation you are using in your 10th standard is nothing but Tn, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is the formula for this Tn? Now,
A plus n minus 1d.
A plus
a plus n minus 1 into d. Where what is a and what is d?
A is the first term and
A is
B
first
is
term
also.
and D is
A is
common
first
difference.
term and D is common difference. Okay, so this is common difference. Now I am writing in abbreviated form. CD means common difference. So basically this is a one kind of sequence where you are putting some values of n on the left hand side and you are getting the output on the right hand side. Okay, and you are putting n from the natural numbers, which means what? This is a kind of sequence. The same way you are going to define geometric sequence. Okay, now I am not going in the detail because this you have already studied. Okay, so keep that arithmetic progression in your mind, and using that now we are going to see many more examples based on these sequences. Okay, now observe this sequence. An is equals to 1 comma minus 1 by 2 comma 1 by 3 comma minus 1 by 4 and so on. Now this is a sequence. It can also be represented using the formula. Okay. Now we are going to represent this sequence an using this formula, that is minus 1 to the power n plus 1 divided by n. Where what you are doing, you are putting some values of n and you are getting each term for this sequence n. For example, if I put n is equals to 1, now remember we are picking n from the set of natural numbers and we know that set of natural numbers starting from 1. So our first value of n has to be 1. So what happens if I put n is equals to 1 in this formula? Yes,
It
So
is
it
equal.
comes out to be 1.
it is 1. That's why our first term of our sequence is 1. Now what happens if I put n is equals to 2?
Minus
Minus
1 by 2.
Minus 1 by 2. Hence our second term is minus 1 by 2. What happens if I put n is equals to 3?
1 by 3.
1 by 3. Okay, similarly you can check the remaining terms. So basically what we are doing is, see, wherever you are getting such kind of sequences, then we are going to generalize it for nth natural number, which means what? We are going to check whether we are getting the specific formula for nth term for this sequence or not. That's the idea behind this chapter, or you can say this unit, which is nothing but sequences. Is the idea clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically we are denoting this sequence in a more standard form using this formula. So we can write this sequence an as minus 1 to the power n plus 1 divided by n in open bracket, which means what? This is nothing but the sequence where we are taking n from the set of natural numbers. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what happens if I make plus over here? So instead of this negative numbers, say suppose I give you this sequence which contains an element, say 1, 2, 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and so on. Then can you tell me an explicit formula for that? Say I am saying you consider this sequence, that is an is equals to 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by
1
4
upon n, sir.
and so on. Okay, so basically this sequence is nothing but 1 by n. And always remember, see here we are not specifying that where we are taking this n from, but as the definition of sequence tells us that we need to always pick this n from the set of natural number. That's why now onwards we are not specifying that this n belongs to natural numbers. You need to know that always this n belongs to the set of natural number now onwards. Okay, now I am not saying that always. So in this way we are going to generalize this set in terms of sequences. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us try to solve some examples which are quite easiest examples based on sequences, where you need to find the first 5 terms of the following sequences. Okay, so our example number 1 is what? There are some sequences given to us in this problem and we need to find out first 5 terms of the following sequences. So observe this first sequence, which is nothing but an is equals to n upon n plus 1. Now we need to find out first 5 terms, means ultimately our aim is to find out a1, a2 and so on up to a5. a1, a2 up to a5. So please tell me what is the first term for this first example.
1 by 2.
So first term is 1 by 2. What about second term?
2 by 3.
2 by 3. What about the last term? Or you can say fifth term,
5 by 6.
5 by 6. Okay, so in this way we are going to list the first 5 terms of this sequence an. I hope this example is clear because these are some straightforward examples where you just need to substitute the value of n for the first 5 terms. Okay, so here you can see a1 is 1 by 2, a2 is 2 by 3, a3 is 3 by 4, so on and so forth. Okay, now observe the second example. Okay, so here an is equals to minus 1 to the power n plus 1 divided by n. So let us list out these examples. Let us list out first 5 terms for this sequence an. So what is the first term of this sequence? Yes, what is the first term?
0.
First term is 0. Okay. What about the second one?
1.
Second is 1. What about third? What about third term?
0.
Third term is 0. What about the fourth term? Yes.
1 by 2.
So fourth term is 1 by 2. Fifth one?
0.
0. So observe one thing. For odd numbers or for odd natural numbers, what we are having?
0.
So for odd natural numbers, we are having this sequence is going to take the value as 0. So let's focus on the next example, that is an is equals to cos n pi by 2. What happens if I put n is equals to 1?
Zero.
0.
because we know that cos 90 is 0. What about A2?
One.
A2 means second term of
Minus
the
1.
sequence. So A2 is nothing but minus 1. See, you just need to put the values of n in this sequence. For n is equals to 1, for n is equals to 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I am leaving this for your homework. You calculate the remaining three terms. We have already calculated the first two terms. First one is 0, second one is minus 1. Now let's focus on this next one. What is the first term?
0.
0.
First term is 0. What is the second term?
7/9.
7 upon 9. What is the third term?
26/28.
26 upon 28. Okay, now you calculate the remaining two terms.
63/65.
Okay. Okay, so third term is 26 by 28. Fourth one is 6 cube by 6 to the power 5. Is it like that?
63/65.
Okay, so this is the printing mistake. This has to be 63 by 65. And the last term is 124 by 126 because 5 cube is 125. Okay, so in this way, we are going to list some terms of the sequences where you are just plugging the values of natural numbers or you are just plugging the values of n, which is from natural numbers. Okay, and you are going to list at the end that the first five terms are 0, 7 by 9, 26 by, and so on. In this way, you are going to write down at the end. Okay, now write first six terms of the following sequences. Now these are also some similar kind of examples, but there is some slight difference. What is that difference? Here it is mentioned that an is nothing but an minus 1 plus an minus 2. Means what? This an is depending on first previous two terms. Okay, so here this an depends on the first previous two terms. Okay, and a1 and a2 is known to us. So a1 is 1, a2 is 1. So can you tell me what is the value of a3 then? Okay, here you just need to put n is equals to 3. So a3 is a3 minus 1 plus a3 minus 2. a3 minus 1 is 2, which means a2. And here a3 minus 2, which means it is a1. So a3 is nothing but a2 plus a1. Are you getting me or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what about a2? a2 is 1. a1 is also 1. So what is the value of a3?
2.
2.
2. Now can you tell me the value for a4?
3.
a4 is 3. What about a5?
5.
a5 is 5. What about a6?
8.
Okay, this is 5. Okay, this is 5 and a6 is 8. Okay, so here we have completed our first exercise because we need to calculate first six terms only. That is, we need to calculate up to A6. So here we did first example. Now can I leave remaining examples for your homework? Will you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, in the same way you are going to do for the second as well as for the third. And at the end you need to list in that way. Okay, in this way you are going to list at the end. Okay. Now our next one is bounded and unbounded sequences. Now see, we have already dealt with this topic in our unit number 1, where we have studied bounded sets as well as unbounded sets. Now we are going to refer those definitions. Using those definitions, we are going to define the bounded and unboundedness for sequences. So please keep those definitions in your mind, and using that, now we are going to define the bounded and unboundedness for sequences. Okay, so here we need to pick a real sequence because we are going to deal with only real numbers. So let an be the sequence of real numbers and is said to be bounded above. Now see, when we are going to say a set is bounded above, yes,
It has an upper bound.
when there is an upper bound. So the same way we are going to define an upper bound, or you can say bounded above, for the sequence. So a sequence an is said to be bounded above if there exists a real number capital M such that each term of the sequence an is less than or is equals to m for all n belongs to natural number. Okay, see, they are saying what? A sequence an is said to be bounded if there exists some real number such that an is less than or is equals to m, and this is true for all n belongs to natural number. This is equivalent to say you list all the elements of this an, and you will always, if you will always find this number m for such sequences, then we are going to say that sequence is bounded above. Is that clear?
No,
For
sir.
example,
No, sir.
ओके नहीं आया, ठीक है, एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं. ऑब्जर्व दिस एग्जाम्पल where we have already listed the elements of this sequence one by n. Okay, now observe which value of m will work here such that an is less than or is equals to m, which means what? And this has to be true for all n, and remember this n belongs to natural number, which means what? आपको कोई भी सीक्वेंस दी होगी an, आपको पहले उसके एलिमेंट लिस्ट करके देखना है. ओके, लिस्ट करने के बाद आपको चेक करना है वेदर यू आर गोइंग टू गेट एनी रियल नंबर, से लेट अस कॉल इट एज m. Okay, you need to check whether you are getting any real number such that every element of this set, or you can say every element of this sequence, is either less than this number m or it is equals to this number m. So can you tell me which value of m will work over here?
1.
So here the value of m will work because you will see that every element of this sequence an is always less than or is equals to 1. Okay, so we can say that this sequence an is bounded above by 1. Is the definition clear now?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has any kind of confusion in it?
Sir, there is something like curly bracket and big bracket. When there is big bracket, we say that that element is included, and when there is curly bracket, it is not included.
Your voice is breaking, so I am not able to hear you properly.
सर बिग ब्रैकेट जब लगाते हैं तो बाउंडेड बोला जाता है ना.
सी ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है बिग ब्रैकेट लगा है तो बाउंडेड बोलेंगे और स्मॉल ब्रैकेट. सी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू टेल मी व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय बिग ब्रैकेट एंड स्मॉल ब्रैकेट. सी बिग ब्रैकेट और स्मॉल ब्रैकेट जैसा कुछ होता ही नहीं है. ओके आपने अगर वही ब्रैकेट स्मॉल में लिखे या फिर आप उसे ही बड़ा करके लिख दो देन दैट आर सेम. ओके so don't confuse you using this smaller and bigger kind of things. आप क्या पूछना चाह रहे थे प्लीज स्पेसिफाई. यस.
सर सेट्स में जब एलिमेंट्स लिखते हैं ना तो
हाँ.
अगर ब्रैकेट बिग ब्रैकेट लगाया, बिग ब्रैकेट मतलब स्क्वायर वाला जो ब्रैकेट है, अगर वो लगा देते हैं तो ऐसा मतलब मुझे पता है कि दैट एलिमेंट इज इंक्लूडेड.
मीन्स ऐसे
और
ब्रैकेट.
अगर हाँ ये वाला ब्रैकेट लगाने का मतलब जो पहले और लास्ट वाले एलिमेंट्स होंगे ना वो भी
हाँ.
हमें इंक्लूड करना है.
यस दिस इज द क्लोज ब्रैकेट. और जब भी हम
यस सर.
1,3 लिखते हैं विच मीन्स व्हाट यहाँ पे ये दोनों एंड पॉइंट्स इंक्लूड होते हैं इन
हाँ
दिस
सर.
इंटरवल. और जब हम ये वाला ब्रैकेट लिखते हैं दैट इज ओपन ब्रैकेट. दिस इज क्लोज्ड एंड दिस इज ओपन. और इसमें अगर हम 1,3 लिखेंगे विच मीन्स व्हाट एंड पॉइंट्स आर नॉट इंक्लूडेड. ओके
यस सर. तो इसमें इसको बाउंडेड और अनबाउंडेड से रिलेट कर सकते हैं.
यस से ये दोनों सेट बाउंडेड होंगे. ये ऑलरेडी हमने देखा है इन आवर यूनिट नंबर 1. This is bounded above by 3 and bounded below by 1. Similarly, this second set also it is bounded above by 3 and bounded below by 3. Hence, this both the sets are bounded sets.
ओके सर.
Okay? और जब आप कभी ऐसा लिखोगे फॉर एग्जाम्पल 1 कॉमा इन्फिनिटी. ओके सो इन्फिनिटी के हमें कोई भी वैल्यू पता नहीं है. So this is unbounded because this set is not bounded above. See for more details you can refer our videos based on bounded sets. Okay.
ओके सर.
So is the definition clear? What do we mean by bounded above sequence?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, we are going to give the definition for bounded below sequence. So a sequence an. Now remember, whenever I am saying sequence an, which means what? We are picking a real sequence. So a sequence an is bounded below if there exists a number m such that m is always less than or is equals to an for all n belongs to natural number. Which means what? Every element of this sequence n is always bigger than or is equals to this real number m. So again, let us try to understand this using an example. You can consider the same example. Okay, now you already told me that we are going to bound this sequence an by the number m, and this m is nothing but an upper bound for this sequence an. So we are saying that this sequence is bounded above. Now observe the same sequence and tell me, can I say this sequence is bounded below? Or tell me the value of small m such that each member of this sequence n is bigger than this number m, small m?
0.
0. Okay, so let us consider this 0. Okay, so you will check that you put any natural number in place of n, you will always find that this number 1 by n is always bigger than 0. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Can it be 0 for some n?
No, sir.
So this 1 by n is never 0. You put any n, you will get that this 1 by n is never 0. So what is the relation between 0 and this sequence an? An is nothing but 1 by n. So can I say 0 is always less than an for
Yes, sir.
any n? Okay, for all n. So here we are having that relation, that is m is less than or is equals to an for all n. Okay, this is for all n, which means what? This number m is nothing but the lower bound for this sequence an. Hence, we can say that this sequence an is bounded below by this number 0. Is the definition clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you combine these two definitions and tell me when I will say a sequence is bounded. Yes,
Sir, when it is bounded above and
a sequence an is said to be bounded if
An
it
is bigger than or equals to small m and less than or equals to capital M.
exactly, which means what? An is both bounded below as well as bounded above, and this is true for all n. So we are going to call such sequences as bounded sequences. And here we are having an example of a bounded sequence. So here an is bounded sequence. Is the definition clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is unbounded sequence? A sequence n is unbounded if it is not a bounded sequence. Okay. तो आप सीक्वेंस को चेक करोगे, अगर वो बाउंडेड नहीं है, विच मीन्स दैट सीक्वेंस इज अनबाउंडेड. That is, if an is neither bounded above nor bounded below. See, for boundedness, it has to satisfy both the conditions, bounded above as well as bounded below. But for concluding it is unbounded, you just need to check whether any one of these two condition is false or not. If any one of these two condition is not satisfied, then you are going to directly conclude that that sequence is unbounded. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we are having some remarks. If this small m is less than or is equals to n for all n belongs to natural number, then we are going to say this small m is called as a lower bound of this sequence n. Okay, same thing we are repeating. Okay, because this we have already studied in our unit number 1. Similarly, this capital M, if this an is less than or is equals to m for all n belongs to natural number, then we are going to say this number m is called an upper bound of the sequence an. Okay, now here is a theorem. See, this theorem is not new. This is exactly the combination of these two. This theorem is exactly the combination of these two remarks. Let me explain this theorem to you, and after that I will stop this lecture. Or I will ask you to please go through this proof. If you won't understand, then please let me know in my next lecture. Okay, but let me explain this. Let me explain the statement of this theorem so that you can able to understand what is happening over here.
But theorems will also come in exam.
क्या हुआ?
Theorems भी एग्जाम में आएगा. Theorem एग्जाम में.
सी अभी पता नहीं है एग्जैक्टली आपके एग्जाम्स ऑनलाइन होंगे या ऑफलाइन होंगे. अगर ऑफलाइन होंगे तो डेफिनेटली थेरम्स एग्जाम में आएंगे. अगर ऑनलाइन होंगे देन इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू ask you this theorem or say that you just write down the proof for that theorem. Okay, so you can expect the statement of that theorem if your exam is going to happen online. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let us first understand what this statement is saying. Okay, this gives me an equivalence to check whether the sequence is bounded or not. So a sequence an in R is a bounded sequence if and only if there exists a number k which is bigger than 0 in R such that mod of an is less than or is equals to k for all n belongs to natural number. Okay, now here we are saying that a sequence is bounded sequence, which means what? It has an upper bound as well as it has a lower bound, or you can say this sequence is bounded above as well as bounded below. Okay, which means what? We are in this scenario. Okay, we are in this scenario. Okay, here we are saying that this sequence an is bounded above by capital M, and here we are saying that this sequence is bounded below by small m. Now here is the trick. What is that trick? You just take m is equals to k and small m is equals to minus k, where k is bigger than 0. Okay, what I'm saying is you just take capital M to be k and small m to be minus k. So let us write down this formula, or you can say this definition of bounded sequence. So on the left hand side we are having minus k, in the middle we are having an, and on the right we are having k. Is that clear? And this is true for all n, and k is bigger than 0. यहाँ तक क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Now relate this. How can I write this an in terms of modulus? Or use the property of real numbers to write down this sequence an in terms of modulus.
Mod an is less than or equals to k.
So I can write this statement as mod an is less than or is equals to k for all n and k bigger than 0. Which means what? We can conclude that this sequence an is bounded by the number k. सो आपको कुछ नहीं करना. अगर आपको कोई भी सीक्वेंस दी होगी और आपको चेक करना है वेदर दैट सीक्वेंस इज बाउंडेड और नॉट, यू जस्ट टेक इट्स एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू. ओके, और एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू लेने के बाद आप कोई ऐसा नंबर k फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो विच इज बिगर देन 0 सच दैट यू कैन बाउंड दैट एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ऑफ सीक्वेंस बाय दिस नंबर k. If you can able to do that, then you are going to conclude that your sequence an is bounded. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And the converse is also true. Okay, now for the converse part, now I am using the green color. अब हमें ये assume करके चलना है. Okay, now you assume mod n is less than or is equals to k for all n and k bigger than 0. So using this we can conclude this above statement, that is minus k is less than or is equals to an is less than or is equals to k. Now again same trick, you say k is nothing but capital M, minus k is nothing but small m. So using that we are going to conclude this result, that is m is less than or is equals to n is less than or is equals to capital M. So using this we are getting this statement, and this means what? This sequence an is bounded sequence. So actually here I have proved that statement. You just go through the proof which is there in your book. Okay, the idea is this one. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So what you need to understand is, see, always अब आपको upper bound और lower bound check करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी for any sequence. You just take an absolute value of that sequence and check whether that sequence is bounded by this positive number k or not. For example, take this sequence an to be minus 1 to the power n divided by n. Okay, now see, if we don't know this result, then what you are going to do is you are going to list down this element, listing down the elements of this sequence. So first element is minus 1, second element is 1 by 2, third element is minus 1 by 3, so on and so forth. Okay. Now what you are going to do is you just collect negative terms on the left hand on one side and positive terms on the other side of this set, and among that you need to check which one is your upper bound and which one is your lower bound for this sequence n. Now you will see that that work is quite tedious, or you can say time consuming. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to just take the absolute value of this sequence n. So can you tell me what is the absolute value of minus 1 to the power n divided by n? Which means what? This is nothing but minus 1 to the power n divided by mod n. But n is anyway positive number. So mod n is same as n. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me what about this mod of minus 1 to the power n? See, which values are taken by this number minus 1 to the power n? It can be either
1 and minus 1.
1 and minus 1. But we are taking the mod of that. Which means what?
Only 1.
Only 1. So can I say mod of an is nothing but 1 by n?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So now we are going to just check whether this an is bounded or not, and we have already checked that this sequence an is bounded sequence. Hence we are going to conclude that this sequence an is also bounded using this theorem. Wait a minute. Capital D, माझं नाव 125 at the rate. 125 at the rate. Okay. So in this way we are going to use that statement. So you can see this is the beauty of that statement. This will help us in such complications to conclude whether the sequence is bounded or not. Is the statement clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think this is enough for today. So let me stop this lecture here. You please go through this proof, okay, because there is nothing much. I have already explained you in short, but you just verify whether you are going to understanding this proof which is there in the book or not. Okay, so let me stop this lecture here. Wait a minute, let me stop the recording. After that, I will explain you about our practicals.